Imagine a small village on the edge of a vast green forest, where the seasons changed gently and the sun always seemed a little brighter after the rain. In this village lived a teenager named Emmy, whose spirit was as lively as the river that ran nearby. Yet, sometimes, Emmy felt like the world was rushing ahead while she remained stuck in one place, waiting for something amazing to happen. Every spring, the villagers planted seeds, carrots, sunflowers, radishes, and watched as fresh green shoots broke through the soil within weeks. Emmy, inspired by their excitement, wanted her own garden, something unique and special. On her birthday, her grandmother handed her a bundle of slender, mysterious-looking seeds and whispered, "These are bamboo seeds. Take care of them, and you'll see what true patience looks like." With hope in her heart, Emmy planted the bamboo seeds at the edge of her little garden. Every morning before school, she watered them and ensured they had sunlight, sometimes humming songs to encourage their growth. Days turned to weeks, and weeks to months. Around her, her friends' flowers began to bloom, and vegetables grew ripe for picking. Emmy's bamboo patch, though, was just a plain bed of dirt. People began to notice. "Are you sure you planted something there?" her neighbor asked kindly. Some of the younger kids giggled, suggesting Emmy had accidentally planted stones instead of seeds. Even Emmy's confidence wavered as the months dragged on. She began to wonder if she was doing everything wrong, if perhaps she just didn't have the magic touch her grandmother did. But her grandmother smiled gently, never doubting for a moment. "Patience, Emmy. Good things are happening, even if you can't see them yet." A whole year passed. It was late spring once again, and Emmy felt like giving up. Still, she went out to check on her bamboo patch, more out of habit than hope. She knelt down, fingers sifting the dirt, when she noticed something she'd never seen before, a tiny, delicate green tip pushing up through the soil. Emmy's eyes widened as she realized. Her bamboo had finally sprouted. Within days, the slender shoot reached higher and higher, growing faster than any plant Emmy had ever seen. By the end of the month, it stood taller than her. The village gathered in awe, marveling at this miracle of the bamboo, unstoppable now after all those months of appearing invisible. What most didn't know was that the bamboo hadn't been idle during that long, quiet year. Hidden under the soil, its roots were spreading deep and wide, building a strong foundation. If Emmy had given up, or stopped caring for what seemed like nothing, she would have never witnessed such transformation. Watching the bamboo sway gracefully in the breeze, Emmy realized how much she herself had changed alongside it. The weight had taught her that sometimes the most important growth happens where no one can see it. The patience she'd developed, the faith she'd kept, and the gentle hope she nurtured, all these things quietly prepared her for her own growth spurts in life. She remembered times she'd doubted herself, feeling overlooked or left behind compared to her friends who raced ahead, winning awards or mastering new skills. There were moments she'd wondered if she'd ever catch up. But the lesson of the bamboo reminded Emmy that everyone has their own timelines. Some are like the sunflowers, bright and bold right away. Others, like bamboo, build strength below the surface so that, when it's time, nothing can stop their rise. Emmy soon noticed she was more patient at school, able to focus and work through challenging projects. She became more understanding with her friends and her little brother, who was learning to read and often got frustrated by his own slow progress. Encouraged by her own bamboo year, Emmy began sharing this lesson with others, reminding them that unseen effort is not wasted, it's simply preparing for something special. Whenever a new challenge arose, whether it was studying for a tough test, learning a song on her guitar, or just getting through days that felt too long, Emmy thought of her bamboo. She trusted the process, knowing that growth isn't always about instant results or visible signs of progress. Sometimes, the most important parts happen quietly, as roots tangle and strengthen out of sight. One day, Emmy's teacher asked the class to share something important they'd learned. Some spoke about memorizing facts or learning to swim. When it was Emmy's turn, she stood and spoke softly, but with newfound confidence. "I learned from my bamboo that growth takes time, especially when nobody can see it happening. Just because you can't see change doesn't mean nothing's happening. Sometimes your hard work and kindness are like roots underground, getting ready for something big. We all have bamboo years, quiet, patient, growing years, before we burst into bloom. Her words stayed with her classmates, just as her grandmother's had lingered in her own mind. The following spring, more gardens sprouted bamboo, tulips, and everything in between. The whole village learned to celebrate not only the blooms above the ground, but the patient effort and quiet determination it took to get there. Through the seasons, Emmy's life bloomed, sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once. And whenever she felt stuck or invisible, she'd walk to her bamboo grove, listening to the wind rustle through the tall, sturdy stalks. She knew now, with all her heart, that every day spent growing under the surface was a day getting ready for her own time to stretch toward the sky. In the end, Emmy understood that true growth takes time, and most of it happens when nobody is watching. Like the bamboo, we all need strong roots, patience, and a little faith in ourselves. If we keep going, even when it's hard to see results, we give ourselves the best chance to grow tall and strong, ready for whatever comes next. Thanks for tuning in to Smiley Toon TV. If you enjoyed today's journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep the smiles coming. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this adventure going together. Stay positive, keep smiling, and let your mind wander.